So 1 round against the clock, meter 25 here today, and we will take our first of 24 in the field in our Helgstrand Dressage Jumping Ponies Trophy class tonight. Bethany Voss is our first on course tonight. Bethany, who was a finalist at Mechelen last year, had the 2 down last night in the meter 20 with Gumbo Bumbo. Gumbo Mumbo and Bethany back now to challenge here in the meter 25. Once again, just like last night, 1 round table A speed, all setting up then for Saturday's Jumping Ponies Trophy Grand Prix here at Herning in northwestern Denmark. Mark McGowan of Great Britain and a team of local designers putting together the courses here for the Jumping Ponies Trophy and International 3 stars across the week. That first related distance is a slight bending line to the right, 1 to 2 down the length of the ring and going towards the in-out gate end of the arena as well. So quite an incredible class last night with those top 4 or 5 really making the difference, stretching out and giving us those sub 60-second times around the opening night track. Whether we see quite the same speed tonight, going up 5 centimeters more, building towards that meter 30 level that we'll have for the Grand Prix on Saturday. Bethany and Gumbo Mumbo it was, as we mentioned, with 2 down yesterday. And unfortunately, it is going to be a bigger score here today. Just coming through the double 10 AB, 1 more to go into some time penalties as well for Bethany and Gumbo Mumbo. So it is a total of 20 for our first to go here in Herning.
Finishing with 5 fences down is a total of 20. Therefore, our first of our athletes from the Netherlands. But we're staying in the Netherlands now. Joy Newman coming forward. Joy is riding the Can Sheva Geldi, the 12-year-old Cash Van Orchids, owned by Stephen Rogers. So, Joey Newman for the Netherlands, second to go.
Joy Neumann is our next to go with Cash Van Orkes for the Netherlands. Joy and Cash. Just the 1 down here yesterday. Combination who were on the pony team for the Netherlands this year in Le Mans at the European Championships. Again, an early rail. Be interesting, you know, we had quite a few clears last night. Obviously, the courses want to be iterative. Middle part of the triple combination down there as well. The verticals, vertical, ox are the challenge there at 5 ABC. Oh! And a real swing and a miss, unfortunately, there, just coming out of the bend and never really took off. Unfortunately, that parting the ways for Joy and Cash is going to result in elimination. Joy and Cash both back up on their feet, but unfortunately will be taking no further part in today's meter 25 warm-up. Replay here of the triple combination. You see just traveling a little bit all the way through there and licking away that top rail of the middle element. So get that fence in the corner reset. Vertical at number 7 on the short distance across to the water tray. That you can see towards the left of your shot, just above the red fence. That was the line.
So, third to go in a few moments' time. Just rebuild the fence. Will be first of our athletes from France. We have 3 French athletes here, and the French athletes bring forward first Paul Barson with the 16-year-old Rocambole mare, Vahin de Kerkrois. This horse is owned by Chapelle Vente de Ponies. Paul Brossard for France.
On we go then to our third contender, Paul Barissat and Vahin de Kerkrois. Vahin and Paul were clear in last night's opening leg of the Jumping Ponies Trophy. And this one of two ponies that Paul has here at the show, also contesting the International Pony 1-star. But unfortunately, Paul has a refusal there on that first line, 1-2. It's going back towards the in-gate. Quite sticky at the second time of asking, but 4 jumping penalties for the refusal. Quite a lot of time wasted as well for Paul Barissat. Oh, he's a long way off here. Gets away with it all through the triple combination, Mark Hugh. And this is turning back to the fence where Joy had her problem out over the water tray at the end of the line for Paul Barissat, Vahin de Kergois. Remember, at the moment, a 4-fault round would come home in the lead, but of course, with that 59 seconds time allowed, it's going to be a good few time penalties here for Barissat. This is still going to be our best score in the clubhouse with the 4 for jumping and 7 for time.
Next to go, we welcome our sole athlete from Austria, Raphael Maximilian Richard Eisenhardt, coming forward with the Peppermill mare. This is the 12-year-old
Raphael Maximilian Reichard Eisenhardt and Indemil. Austrian rider, veteran now of 2 Pony European Championships, silver medalist with the Austrians at the Ponies just over 12 months ago at Optlebeek in Belgium. And catching the rail there, coming out the end of the line, Raphael and Indemil will also not be our first to deliver a clear round over this middle night track of Jumping Ponies Trophy. Just holding down that distance. Always look quite short down there, 7 to 8. And popping away over the last, it is 4 faults and into the lead, 55.61. A relatively competitive time as well for Raphael Maximilian.
Very exciting early stages in this class with these FEI Jumping Ponies warm-up class, sponsored by Helpstrand Dressage. Now, placed second in the earlier warm-up class yesterday from Great Britain, one of 4 athletes. We welcome Alfie Dijker coming forward.
Well, Alfie Dijker and PJV Bella, they were ones to watch yesterday, long-time leaders. And they moved the needle on by about 4 or 5 seconds when they went into the lead last night, going a little bit later in the draw and ending up in eventual second place. Jumping another pony and a couple of horses here in the 1-star horses. Alfie, who is on the Nations Cup teams this year at Linz in Austria. Very economic, you know, as close as he dares around that final fence, the pale green, to find his line back to that line, 7 to 8. Just the double now. Is he going to be sub 50 seconds? Not quite. Oh, and a late rail as well. In fact, 2 of them.
Oh, yes. Alfie.
2 down for Alfie Dijker and PJV Bella, we're being told. Only be if he had both parts of the double down. In fact, just getting a little bit of conflicting information here suggests that potentially is clear in 52.56 for Alfie Dijker and PJV Bella. Apologies there for those scores coming up on the screen, but that is a 0 for Alfie, just on that score. And back to France now for Gabriel Richard, Gabriel and Dandy Royale. Dandy Royale and Gabrielle with 1 down yesterday in the first leg of Jumping Ponies Trophy classes this weekend. Part of the French team at the FEI Jumping Nations Cup Youth Finals at Leer Eselhof. You just see them all holding down towards that end of the ring, and I think as well there's just a lot of decoration, a screen also on that solid wall down at the end as well, but really just not having the concentration and the focus there as they got to the end of that line. They just took away the front rail of number 4 round here, taking on the triple combination line, but it is on a plumb 4. We all saw it, so that means that Alfie Diaper remains our leader. So 4-4's 58-27. That is going to go into third place for Gabriel Richard and Dandy Royale as things currently stand. Raphael of Austria with our fastest 4-4 to hold second. Alfie Diaper of Great Britain is our only clear. Brune Favre and Enigme de Pré. Enigme was Brune's pony this year for a 3rd appearance at the Pony Championships. Looking to improve on their score from yesterday here, and they're being very, very positive thus far over this McGowan track. In the box and at Herning. Had to work quite hard through that triple combination line and make the distance. They started off a little bit away. They had to stay on that and keep the pressure on as a partnership. They did it. Now, can Brune, still on a clear at the moment, be competitive against that 52-56 scored by Alfie Diaper? It's not going to be a million miles away, but it will be behind. Jumps through the final double. 1 to go, Brune Favre and Enigme de Pré. A lot of faults last night, and it is a clear tonight, and that is a lovely way to go in the build-up to the Grand Prix of the Jumping Ponies Trophy. Selma Hunborg Dressler and Lady Crown, top 5 here last year in the Herning Grand Prix of the Jumping Ponies Trophy, and a top 10 finisher yesterday with a clear round in our opening class for 2025, both here at Herning and for the whole winter season of Jumping Ponies Trophy. Selma's second pony here at the show, not out of the top 5 yet. That's pony called Daytona, jumping some of the meter 20 pony classes outside the Jumping Ponies Trophy series. You have to consider as well that, you know, for many of these guys, this will be their first time back indoors after a busy summer season, and that, you know, creates its own difference in the way you would approach it, in the way the ponies will react. Selma here is looking very, very fast in comparison to Alfie Diaper. It goes into the lead, 52-20. It is 1/4 of a second faster, but faster is better.
Great stuff there. Well done, Selma. Taking the lead now on 52.2. Gives us our 3rd clear round. We stay with the Danish athletes now. Placed 7th in the previous warm-up class. We welcome Amelie Brumharlin with the Tresor gelding, the 9-year-old Good Boy.
Amelie Brunhald, Amelie and Good Boy du Bondet. Again, top 10 with the clear last night here at Herning. member of the silver medal Danish team at the Nordic Baltic Championships for ponies at Apaya in Finland. Amelie just taking that light plank, and that's exactly why it's down there. It's such a delicate fence at the bottom end of the ring. Amelie with the last down as well. So Amelie Broom-Harold and Good Boy de Bonde, 12 faults, 55-23, sitting 7th as things currently stand, with us here at the Helgstone dressage leg of the FEI Jumping Ponies Trophy. On to Tara Sweetnam. Tara with the 10-year-old Pony Classic. Just the one down for this pair yesterday. Can they tidy that up into a clear here today? As the height goes up from yesterday's metre 20 to metre 25 today, all with that metre 30 tomorrow. Or sorry, on Saturday for the Jumping Ponies Trophy Grand Prix. Hustling along, but of course, as you can see, that leaves them very, very snug over the top of combinations like the triple there at 5ABC. And that's the risk when you're trying to move and be competitive with some of those fast times like Selma Hundberg-Dresta, Alfie Dijper, our top two. The best of 3 clear rounds so far. Brune Favre giving us a clear as well for France. The Tara Sweetnam won't be joining them, and unfortunately grinding to a halt here in front of the double at 10 as well. There's going to be 4 further faults, and means that the time will become impossible for them. You can see the time penalties already starting.
Well done, Tara. Good recovery there. There are quite a few time penalties. 20 time, 8 jumping.
8 jumping, 20 for time for Tara. And Classic.
Now we go to the 3rd place rider from yesterday's warm-up class. From the Netherlands, Mandy Vos. And Mandy brings forward the West Star Sunny Nair, 14-year-old. Jasmine's Holly, owned by the Stichling Sandy Horse Foundation and TheWrestler.com.
Mieli Vos and Jasmine's Holly, pony and rider, both 14 years old. Dutch combination this year at Le Mans, and 3rd place finisher last night here with that 56.77 on the clock. Oh! In the Jumping Ponies Trophy, unfortunately. A big old 4. I thought they were going to be in further trouble going through the triple combination line there. But Mina and Jasmine's Holly are definitely on the 4 from fence 5A. And the last stand as well is going to make it 8 faults for Mina and Jasmine's Holly. 54.36. A time that would have gone into 3rd had she remained clear, but here's where it started to come undone, unfortunately, for last night's podium finisher. So you can see quite the shake-up in the order here. Alfie Dijper, who was 2nd last night, has been overtaken once again. 2nd is the best he can hope for as things currently stand. Selma Hundberg-Dresta is out in front. Mina Vos there from last night's podium is going to be, of course, down the order with those 8 faults. Currently in 6th.
welcome to Emily Gulliver now with Ben Gulliver's 9-year-old lucky choice for Great Britain.
So Emily Gulliver should be our next to go. One of the younger ponies in the field, 9-year-old lucky choice. Top 10 at Herning last year for Emily and a Mechelen finalist.
52.2, one of just 3 clear rounds.
Emily this year rode as a junior, under 18 at Riesenbeck in Germany, part of the British team there, having been a Children on Horses team gold medalist the year previously. Emily and lucky choice with the rail last night, so there were a lot of clear rounds on day one here with us at Herning. So those 4 falters just finding themselves surprisingly far down the field. And sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to judge pace, but you get the sense here that Emily's maybe not going all out, wanting A, to improve on the score from last night, and B, seeing that even here about halfway through the starting field, we only have 3 clear rounds, although we do have a few more from last night's top 10 still to join us, that a clear could be very, very valuable. That was lucky there because they got into a little bit of trouble, just loss of rhythm, coming around the bend back to that light plank, and Emily is going to be clear, and the time should be okay as well. No, the last goes, the front rail off the last, and as you can see, absolute championship tendencies here. Our course designer using that yellow cup on the front rail of the last, meaning that it sits shallower and therefore that little bit easier to knock away. And unfortunately, Emily Gulliver paying that particular price, 4 in 57.16. Going into 5th place, it's not a huge difference at the moment. If she'd been clear in 57.16, she would have gone into 4th place. Lily Mellström and Helga THO. Helga THO, gold medalist with the Swedish team at the Nordic Baltic Championships this year. And Lily then riding another pony, Sparkling Lackamore Joey, at the Europeans in Le Mans. So this pair, top 10 with us on a clear last night here in the Boxen. Say this course really causing a lot of problems here today in the Boxen. Just a little bit of outside bend, just holding the horse, going through her left leg and straight down that final line, and that is a very good one. It's clear, and 53.69 and into 3rd for Lily Mellström and Helga, and that is a real mark of form for that pair. Just like Alfie Diper, it is clear on the first 2 classes against the clock, and then tomorrow in the Grand Prix they're going to have that little bit more time and space. It's a bigger track for sure, but what they have to do is just deliver a clear under different pressure, but not the pressure of riding maybe a little bit out of their comfort zone and faster than maybe it is possible to leave the fences standing. And of course, back to today and yesterday, that's the paradigm, and that's why we're seeing a few more rails. But actually, you take Alfie and you take Lily now into 3rd. That's Senna Beckers on course now, another of the Dutch contenders. The Dutch really, certainly at this Herning leg, going all out for the Jumping Ponies trophy at the moment. Senna with Comme Delicieux. One of our slower clears last night, just outside the top 10. But clear all the same, and again, Senna might very well be thinking about keeping her powder dry, just jumping clear every day, including jumping clear in the first round of the Grand Prix, and then going all out when it comes to the jump off. Well, a little bit too slow, unfortunately, having made all those comments. It is 2 for time, 60.20 for Senna Becker, so it goes into 5th. But overall, when you see, you know, the time allowed 59 are some of our fastest 52, 53, you know, it's difficult to argue that a speed class's time allowed is a little tight, but for Senna Beckers there, who is looking to just score and might have felt that she was going about 350 meters a minute and getting those 2 for time. So they really do have to motor along. Elise Thirion, dance floor de Cournoy. Dance floor de Cournoy, my apologies. Dance floor and Elise, bronze medalist this year at Le Mans at the Pony Europeans with the Belgians. Second year on the Belgian team. Elise just 15 years old, so another full year in ponies next year as well. Jumping that Herning City coat of arms fence that was our last night. Over this light plank, there's the double and the last to go for Elise Thirion. The time, 52 seconds is what leads Selma Hunburg-Dresser and Alfie Dijper, both scoring a 52. But here's a clear in 56.70 to go into fifth position. And that is our fifth clear round so far in the Helgstrand dressage supported leg of the FEI Jumping Ponies Trophy here from Herning.
Came home with 2 time faults, but Elise Thirion, lovely clear. Well done, Elise. Now we go back to our Danish athlete, Rebecca. Jules coming forward with the Carmina mare, the 10-year-old MVS Carvel, owned by Sandra Duffy.
So Rebecca Chested Jules and MVS Carvel. This is going a little bit. Part of the Danish team that were bronze this year, actually at the Children on Horses. Rebecca was with her horse Danogue, Dr. George. She's riding here in the one-star internationals at Herning. So 57.78 is going to go into sixth position. We're starting to rack up those clear rounds now. And in terms of the Jumping Ponies Trophy, Carvel last night and Rebecca, they ended up with a clear steady enough. So it was actually 16th position for them in the final analysis. They're the slowest of our clears at the moment, going into sixth. Corbeil Legend and Viggo Bergstrand of Sweden. Clear, again, slow last night. Clear and 17th position for Viggo. So Viggo still on the clear at the moment. But nothing is for sure on this course. We've seen pretty much every fence between here and home cause a problem somewhere or another. Viggo and Corbeil Legend. 1 to go. They're going to be all right on the clock, and they are all right overall. It is into fifth and 56.22 for Viggo Bergstrand and Corbeil Legend, as again we continue to build up those clears for these riders preparing for the all-important, the points-giving Jumping Ponies Trophy Grand Prix here on Saturday.
This is the Cats Ronaldo gelding, the 14-year-old Berlioz de Ronan. And it's owned by Jordan Mayer and SCEA La Domaine Equestre Adrien de la Vie.
Sophia Aurelia Georges from the Principality of Monaco. Berlioz Denan. She rode Children on Horses as her championship this summer at Riesenbeck in Germany. Sophia is just 13 years old, so a long time left in ponies, and was clear with this pony Berlioz last night here at Herning. Just unfortunately picking up the rail there, going across the ring at the line 7 to 8 with the water tray onto number 8. Good times, fifth on the clock, but with the 4 faults there for Sophia Aurelia Georges and Berlioz de Henan. So unfortunately not able to follow up yesterday's clear round in the meter 20. It's going to be 4 here in the meter 25. Let's just see if we can pick it up a little bit more clearly. Well, you can see where the problem was going to come from on the approach there for Sophia. So Sam Widger. Little Smythe is Sam's ride for Jumping Ponies Trophy here at Herning. Having been a championship medalist this summer with Western Ranger, he was also reserve national champion in the 14-2 ponies at the Dublin Horse Show with Western Ranger. Top 10 last night. Actually pioneered one of the inside lines on last night's track and came home in a 62. Amazing then that our winner was on 52. Some 10 seconds faster. It really was an exceptional competition last night and an exceptional ride from Lieselot Kuremans. So 52 seconds is not quite there for Sam, but is he going to be clear 2 nights in a row here at Jumping Ponies Trophy as it gets up to meter 30 on Saturday? He is 55.95 and into 4th then for Sam Widger and Little Smythe. The Irish pony riders have got a great reputation in this Jumping Ponies Trophy series, going back to the very first finals. And Sam Widger clear on both of the prelude classes now. Let's see how the Grand Prix on Saturday will play out from. If you are planning your pony watching action here with us on Saturday from Herning, I'll tell you the Jumping Ponies Trophy, 5:45 local time in Denmark. That's 1 hour ahead of the UK and Ireland. Lieselot Kuremans, Ilando van der Roshover. Lieselot, winner here last night and the Grand Prix winner here 12 months ago as well. The individual gold medalist at the Children on Horses this year for the Netherlands. Lieselot is just 13 years old, so winning that Grand Prix, going to the finals in Mechelen last year as a 12-year-old, and finding one of those inside turns. She's very fast, look at that. Touches that plank, it wobbles all the way to the edge, but luck is on her side, and this is going to be sub 50 seconds. Can anyone else get there? 49.16 and into the lead for Lieselot Kuremans. What an incredible talent she is. That Grand Prix victory here last year, the win last night, the individual gold this summer at Riesenbeck in the Children on Horses, the under-14s as well, and finding one of those inside times. Look how far she was off that one as well, and if we'd stayed with it, how lucky she was at the plank as well over there in the corner at number 9. So Robin Vermeer and Atomic du Barry. Atomic du Barry just outside the top 10 last night with Robin with the clear round. Robin, again, a veteran of a couple of seasons worth of Jumping Ponies Trophy. I remember calling Robin around the track in Longines Nikita Lyon in France a couple of seasons ago. Of course, father Willem Vermeer will be a feature of the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup Series this winter as well. Middle part of the triple combination down, unfortunately, for Robin here. as we were mentioning last night, a lot of good riders have had this Atomic de Barry horse, including the individual medalist from this summer's Junior Championships, Tabitha Kyle, now riding for Ireland. Oh, and unfortunately just on the hustle, just came in a little bit sharp to that plank, and Atomic unfortunately just saying no thank you, just wanting a little bit more time to read the question. So with the rail down as well, we get on to 12 jumping faults. We're starting to get into time faults now as well. So Robin and Atomic de Barry, unfortunately, with the clear at the lower level. Unfortunately, now we're up at metre 25. It's quite the big score. So it'll be 12 for jumping, 7 for time by the looks of things for Robin Vermeer and Atomic de Barry.
Still 3 to go, placed 4th here yesterday for Great Britain. Ruby Payne comes forward with the 16-year-old Z-Tech, owned by Russell Payne.
On to Ruby Payne, Ruby and Z-Tech. Z-Tech 4th last night here in the Jumping Ponies Trophy for Ruby. A couple of yesterday's top finishers still there in the mix. Alfie Diaper, who was in 2nd, sits 3rd at the moment. Winner yesterday, Lieslot Kuremans, is still our leader here in day 2. Through the triple combination now. Has she got her eye on that inside line that Lieslot took? No. Goes out around the last. Yeah, and I was just about to say, if you look at where that box is on the ground, the flowers, you know, the tendency, the encouragement is to come around inside it, and then you're asking a big question of these ponies down to that vertical at number 9, and the second in a row just being asked that question and saying no. And just like Robin Vermeer, unfortunately going to have the rail as well, having represented. Start to go into time penalties now too. And Ruby Payne will be 12 for jumping and 5 for time by the looks of things there. So Ruby and Z-Tech, having been just off the podium, top 5 yesterday, won't be very much in the mix today. 18th with 2 more to start here this evening in the Boxen and Herning. Yeah, as we remarked yesterday, a pony guaranteed to be older than any of the riders in this competition. The 20-year-old Casper in the hands of Laura Hertz-Eichenroder. Casper and Laura were 6th yesterday with a clear round just over the 60 seconds mark, and actually were our leaders for a while in the early part of the competition. Their draw much later today, and can they make that count now that they have a feel for how the competition has gone, where the tight lines are, where the problems are? Can they bring themselves up a little bit more into the mix? Again, not following Lieslot Kuremans around that very tight turn, but nor following Ruby Payne inside that flower planting to the plank. So already just over 50 seconds. So this is going to be one, fingers crossed, clear and inside the time. Oh, 57.69, 1 1/3 seconds inside the time, but it's still clear. It's clear and into 9th position for Laura Hertz-Eichenroder, and that's another partnership now that have jumped clear over both of the prelude tracks as we get ready for Saturday's Grand Prix of the Jumping Ponies Trophy. Yeah, another pretty veteran pony here in Bodyseed Aveline. Palmer Sophie Grie Janssen Christensen for Denmark. Off and a running, twice a team gold medalist for Denmark. Very, very busy at this show, riding in the 3-star, the jumping ponies, the ponies, the 1-star international jumpers as well. Top 5 with Bodyssey last night in our Jumping Ponies Trophy preliminary round. And this second warm-up class tonight. This has the opportunity to be a bit of a spoiler at the end here because they are going very, very well. Not going to be quite as fast as Lieslot, but where do they go? 50.69. That goes into second place for Palmer Sophie Grie Janssen. And Palmer Sophie Grie Janssen Christensen and Bodyssey de Aveline will finish on the podium here, and it will be 2 Danish riders on the podium, 3 inside the top 10 with clears last night, and Denmark continuing a good run of form through this Jumping Ponies Trophy series here at their home show at Herning, and hopefully that will encourage, you know, at this stage, especially if you're a Danish rider, you may be gone in this class because it is prestigious and it lines you up against some of the other European Championship contenders. But now, having gone well, the encouragement is to maybe look at the plans for the next month or two and see whether it would be possible to go to Stuttgart or to go to Lyon and then to try and make it through to those finals between Christmas and New York in New Year in Mechelen. So Lieslot Kuremans with the victory, Palmer Sophie Grie Janssen Christensen in second, Selma Hunberg Dresler third, Alfie Dijper, last night's runner-up, in fourth. Lily Melstrom will round out the top 5 here of our group of competitors in the Jumping Ponies Trophy, with the, of course, forecast now looking ahead to the Parvo FEI Jumping Ponies Trophy Grand Prix here at 5:45 on Saturday. From Herning tomorrow, though, we do have more sport for you because during the course of the day, we have the FEI Dressage World Cup Grand Prix at 2 p.m. and on Saturday morning, we have the FEI Dressage World Cup Freestyle at midday. So that is the first leg and the opening leg of that series, of course, looking towards its finals at Fort Worth, Texas in April of next year. And also this weekend, we open up the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup Series from Oslo, with the Oslo World Cup leg coming at the weekend. We have the qualifier class on Clip My Horse FEI TV tomorrow night as well. So big, big weekend of sport, of course. Elsewhere on the Clip My Horse TV network for show jumping this weekend, you've got the Major League show jumping leg from Tryon in North Carolina. And in the world of eventing, after last weekend's FEI Eventing Nations Cup finals from Buccolo, it is the FEI WBFSH World Championships for young horses, the 6- and 7-year-old championships at Le Lion d'Angers. So the award ceremony for our pony riders coming up, and Lieslot Kuremans, now since the end of last year's Grand Prix, has not been out of the winner's circle here in Herning. Grand Prix winner 12 months ago, winner last night, now winner tonight, and of course set fair for the Grand Prix on Saturday, but nothing is assured until the last rider jumps that last fence, and that of course is the beauty and what makes sport so very, very interesting. So here they are, the prize winners from the second night of sport in the Jumping Ponies Trophy here at Herning in Denmark. Helgstrand Dressage are very generous sponsors for tonight's meter 25 speed leg, and then it is all eyes on the FEI Jumping Ponies Trophy Grand Prix here on Saturday. So our representative of Helgstrand, together with the organising committee here at World Cup Herning, and a member of the international judging panel as well, making the presentations to our lineup here. We start with our 5th place finisher, Lily Mellström and Helga THO. As I said, Lily, one of those riders to have been clear on both days. So too Alfie Diper. It's top 5 today, having been podium yesterday for Alfie with PJV Bella. On then to our Danish riders taking the podium today. It is Selma Hundberg Dresler, 3rd on the podium with Lady Crown. Just that fraction faster, 1/4 of a second faster than Alfie Diper. Again, just showing the real competitiveness of this series. And you see great support there from teammate Palma Sophie. Palma Sophie Gry Janssen Christensen in that 2nd place, but again tonight, so Palma Sophie in a little bit of a different country to everyone else. You know, he's had those few on 52.53. She was on 50.69, but still more than 1 second faster with a sub 50-second time. Liselott Kuremans taking the victory with Elando van der Roshover. It really is incredible the pace that this pair have been able to achieve on the first 2 nights. Now, it won't matter enormously in round 1 of the Grand Prix, but my goodness, it will really come into play when we get to the jump-off of that Grand Prix. If Liselott Kuremans is in that jump-off on Saturday, it will be difficult to bet against her. So Liselott Kuremans and Elando van der Roshover taking yet another victory with us here at Herning. And again, being congratulated by our presentation party, including our representative of Helgstrand Jury, part of the Helgstrand Group. Of course, the Helgstrand Dressage and Helgstrand Group very, very involved here for a number of years with the support of this World Cup leg for Herning. And Herning, of course, first coming on to all of our radars with that European Championships for jumping dressage, para dressage and vaulting back in 2013, and then with the World Championships in 2022 held very successfully as well. So the individual silver medalists when they were last at the Ponies together in 2024 in Opklebeg, the Herning Grand Prix winners last year, and now the double winners this year They were finalists at Mechelen in the Jumping Ponies Trophy. Are we looking at somebody who is going to wipe the floor with the series this year? Lieselot Kuremans and Orlando van der Roshover are off to an incredible start here in Herning. And as I've mentioned, between Major League Show Jumping in Tryon, Longines FEI Jumping World Cup action in Oslo, FEI Dressage World Cup action from right here in Herning, Denmark, and the FEI WBFSH World Championship eventing for young horses from the Lion d'Angers. It's a super weekend of sport across the network on Clip My Horse and FEI TV. So we hope you'll find something to keep you entertained around doing your own horses as well. I'll be back with you on Saturday for the Jumping Ponies Trophy Grand Prix here from Herning, but for the moment from Denmark, it's goodbye for now.
Well, thank you all. Fantastic audience, great spirit of adventure here in Moxon. And our next class is the Big Tour class, the first of our 3-star Big